Hey, welcome here guys in another solo level in Rise video. And today I'm going to show you actually how to cook Cursed Eiberg in Battlefield of Time, Water Element, SGW. And yes, all my content is created on mobile device, so this is going to be especially interesting for mobile users, but also helpful for other users as well. Of course, speedruns require some amount of legendary runes and blessings, but if you don't have them, there is no big deal. At least you will have an understanding about the strategy, how to act to improve your results in general. First, I'm going to show you a full run, and after that, I will explain everything in a little bit of details, show you my setups, strategy. We'll have a look at the full run in a slow-mo, where I'm going to explain everything step by step. Before we're going to start, first of all, just massive shout out to you guys who left first comments in my previous videos. Thanks a lot, your reactions are really important for me. Also, just a small reminder for the upcoming content. I'm going to create few guides for beginners, as well as I'm going to cover a guild boss. I have quite a few improvements in terms of setups, teams. They're pretty decent. My results improved quite a lot, so this should be interesting. Also, I'm going to do regular streams on Wednesdays, and the upcoming Wednesday is not going to be an exception. So we'll have some kind of a Christmas live stream. I'll make an announcement, feel free to join me. I'm always happy to see you live, guys. Now let's get back to the main topic of this video, full run, and I'll be back to explain everything in details. Let's begin.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Now let's begin first of all with setups, and for weapons for SJW I'm using a Plum Sword and Tethys Grimoire, they are mandatory. For my support units, as you can see, Nam, Sa for providing some break damage, and Meilin for providing some additional support. For my shadows, I'm using Igris as a shadow authority to increase my critical hit rate. I'm also using Beru, he provides quite decent buffs, and also Serbi. For my gears, as you can see for SGW, I am using 4 pieces toughness to increase again my critical hit rate and boost my critical hit damage. For accessories, it's 4 pieces obsidian. They are pretty huge, 60% damage increase is quite a lot. For Meilin, 8 pieces Burning Blessing to increase damage dealt. Again, for Sa and Nam, I'm using 4 pieces Solid Analysis and 4 pieces Seal for additional support and break effectiveness. Now for my skill runes which I'm using the Armor Break, Iceberg, Water Element, Almighty Break. It's a huge one, I have it at heroic level. It feels like not really enough, that's why I have to improve my strategy in terms of this skill. The second one is Vertical Arts, the Water Element again. It's really huge because when the enemy is in a break state, it deals additional damage increase by 250%, and that's quite a lot. For QTE skills, I'm using first one with Death, which is going to increase break effectiveness at legendary level by 12%. That's also a lot, and during the overview of my run I'm going to explain why exactly this one. The second one, QTE, is Collapse, which deals some weak break damage and as well apply a buff. When the enemy is going to be in a break state, it's going to increase damage by 20%. This is huge as well. So, just to be Really simple. I'm going to call them this one first QTE. This one is going to be the second QTE. For my blessing stones, which I'm using, first one is going to be Sharp Perception, which is going to increase critical hit rate as well by quite a lot. The second one is Reawakening to reduce my cooldowns. The third one, Bloodlust, to decrease defense of the opponent. And the last one, Weakness Detection, because major skills, they're based on water elements, so this is going to help quite a lot. For survivabilities, blessing stones, they are not that important, so we're not going to pay attention to them. For my curse, just I was using some of them for Sanjanu, the best which I had. For my hunters, nothing special, just place them, but they're not really mandatory. Also for my break hunters, I'm using this SR weapon, which calls Steel Longsword. It helps quite a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're ready to start with the battles overview and the strategy. So we're starting from the very beginning, and here I'm using dashes 3 times on the right side. I'm actually watching after these squares on the ground, and my position is going to be somewhere here, let's say in between of this square and this square here. I'm going to look in the direction of these 3 mobs, so they should be in a straight line, like as you can see here. As well, I'm going to cover this one mob because he is quite close to me. And as soon as I see that I've killed 4 mobs, 4 of them, like this one in a straight line, I'm going to dash in the direction where these 4 mobs here are located. This is an important moment. Why? I mean the position which I was placing. This is important for actually these 2 mobs, which are the first one, to actually move a little bit closer to me. So I can kill all of them at once with vertical arch skill. And as you can see, I'm using dash to actually activate an amplifying draw and using vertical arch. This is going to kill all of them, and here we're going to the second phase where the mini boss is going to appear. At this moment I'm using dash again to activate amplifying draw effect. I'm using my Meilin to apply her support skills, and I'm using the second QTE. So if I remember correctly, it calls Collapse. It deals quite a lot of damage. And after that, I'm going to finish him with just basic attacks. Why am I saving the first QT skill? This is going to be important for Eiberg, because in my case, I'm lacking with break effectiveness. I'm not able to break him with a single rotation of all my break units and break skill. That's why it's going to be important, and you will see everything. Now I'm summoning my shadows, like immediately. I'm waiting for his animation, not moving anywhere. And now I'm using my basic attacks, waiting for shadow step to gone, and I'm waiting for actually the first QTE skill, using it immediately. And after that I'm using Nam. She is going to freeze him. This is also an important move. And after that I'm going to use my Sa. The second QTE skill is almost from the cooldown. I'm keep doing my basic attacks to keep it activated. And here he's going to relocate in a little bit other location, as you can see here. And I'm using immediately the second QTE skill. So at this moment, I basically teleporting immediately to him. I'm applying the buff, which is going to increase my damage output after I'm going to break him by 20%, and I'm using my break skill. Also, you can see that Meilin is going from the cooldown. I'm using her immediately, and Shadow Step. Now I'm using my Tethys Grimoire just to apply the buff. I'm using dash to activate amplifying draw and vertical arts. And that's it. Yeah, shadows, they're applying their buffs. So as you can see here, it's the buff from Beru. This is the buff from Grimoire. We have defense decrease. He's in a break state. The vertical arts are going to provide the full amount of damage, and this is going to pretty much finish him, at least at legendary level of this rune. Of course, there is a chance that you won't be able to finish him immediately if it's at heroic version, but at least it's going to deal a certain amount of damage. That's pretty much it for this video. Hope it was helpful, and I believe you will be able to deal with this boss. Have a nice day, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.